Fuck off. Fuck this asshole up.
In an underground arena located in the city of Kiev, Ukraine, the famous wrestler Yuri Boyka begins his prayer ritual, a practice he performs before every fight. Focused and determined, he steps into the ring with a clear goal in mind, to defeat his opponent and claim victory at any cost. Boyka's intense preparation and sharp focus make him a formidable fighter, and as the match begins, he wastes no time in asserting his dominance. With swift, precise, and powerful blows, he quickly overpowers his opponent, leaving no room for recovery. The crowd erupts into cheers, giving Boyka a standing ovation as he celebrates another victory inside the ring. Meanwhile, in the maximum security prison of Gornyak, underground fights are also a common occurrence. In this brutal environment, Koshmar, Russia's most monstrous and feared fighter, prepares to enter the ring. Known for his savage fighting style, Koshmar steps into the arena with the sole intention of annihilating his opponent. As the fight begins, his rival tries to launch an attack, delivering punches and kicks in an attempt to bring him down. However, Koshmar is completely unfazed by the strikes and retaliates with a series of devastating blows. In just a few seconds, he knocks his opponent to the ground. But Koshmar doesn't stop there. He grabs the defeated man by the neck and begins pummeling his face with unrelenting punches. After taking multiple hits, the man succumbs to the brutal attack and dies, leaving the crowd in shock at Koshmar's merciless display of violence. A few days after his last fight, Yuri Boyka decides to visit a church, where he donates a stack of books. During his visit, the priest takes a moment to thank Boyka for his generosity and the support he has shown the church. However, the priest also expresses concern about Boyka's path, explaining that if he truly seeks salvation, fighting and violence are not the way to achieve it. Boyka, however, argues that his fighting abilities are a gift from God and that wasting such a talent would be wrong. He believes he is fulfilling a purpose by using the skills he was given, but the priest remains unconvinced and urges him to reflect on his actions. Shortly after his visit to the church, Boyka is approached by his manager, Kirill, who brings exciting news. Kirill reveals that he has managed to secure a legal fight for Boyka, which will take place in Budapest during the European Championship. This tournament presents a significant opportunity, as Kirill has also arranged for scouts from the tournament to attend Boyka's upcoming match. If Boyka manages to impress them, he could earn a spot in the championship. As he steps inside, Victor appears, and the referee officially announces the start of the match. Victor wastes no time, immediately launching an aggressive attack. However, Boyka skillfully evades the punches and responds with a series of well-placed strikes, followed by powerful kicks. Within seconds, he manages to knock Victor down, showcasing his strength and technique. The scouts are proud to report that in just 2 weeks, Boyka will compete in an important tournament in Budapest. If he wins, he'll enter the professional league and fulfill his dream, but if he loses, his aspirations will be crushed. Kirill is incredibly proud of his fighter, Boyka, as he is on the brink of achieving a major goal. On his way home, Boyka notices Victor being taken to the hospital on a stretcher, and the nurse claims that his condition is critical. The following day, during a conversation with his manager, Boyka learns that Victor passed away a few hours after their fight. Kirill reassures Boyka that he won't be held responsible, stating that it was an unfortunate accident. Despite this, Boyka feels immense guilt and recalls the priest's words, struggling with the weight of what happened. Boyka requests to see Victor's belongings, and inside his closet, he discovers a photo of Victor with his wife, along with a letter sealed in an envelope. Shaken by the discovery, Boyka asks his manager for a fake passport so that he can travel to Russia to visit Victor's widow. Kirill attempts to talk him out of it, but Boyka insists, assuring him that he needs to go but will return before the tournament in Budapest. In Russia, Victor's family and friends gather to say their final goodbyes. Zorop and his gang attend the funeral, making Alma, Victor's widow, uncomfortable with their presence. The gangster watches her from a distance and, at the end of the ceremony, reminds her of her husband's debt. Zorop tells Alma that if she agrees to marry him, her husband's debt will be forgiven. Alma, however, refuses, offering to work at Zorop's club instead to pay off the loan Victor had taken out. Later that day, Carol gives Boyka the fake passport, and he sets off on his journey. He gets a ride from Sumi, who takes him to a military checkpoint. The soldiers there don't have internet access, so Boyka can pass through without drawing attention. After crossing the border into Russia, Boyka arrives in Drovny, rents a room, and hangs a crucifix on the wall. He then heads to the return address on the letter, where he realizes the place resembles a school. As he watches from outside, he spots Alma, immediately recognizing her. She notices Boyka and stares at him, and just seconds later, a car pulls up, and the driver orders Alma to get in. Boyka asks the security guard where they are headed, and he follows them to a club, where Alma is expected to work. Inside, a fight is underway between Igor and another man. Despite being smaller, Igor is quick and agile, easily defeating his opponent. As Igor celebrates his victory, Boyka spots Alma and approaches her. She asks why he's following her, and Boyka explains that he's come to talk to her. Before they can continue their conversation, Slava and his security team arrive and demand Alma return to work. Slava orders Boyka to step outside for a talk. Zorop, observing from his room, sees Boyka on the security cameras and becomes curious about his presence in the arena. Slava confronts Boyka outside, telling him to leave, warning that he's messing with the wrong woman, as Alma now belongs to his boss. Boyka insists he just wants to speak with Alma and asks when she gets off work. When Slava sees Boyka isn't backing down, he orders his men to teach him a lesson. 2 bouncers attack Boyka, but he quickly dispatches them. Impressed by Boyka's skill, Slava draws a gun and aims it at Boyka, but the fighter manages to disarm him and knocks him out. Zorop then appears, applauding Boyka's performance, and offers him a chance to fight in his ring. Boyka refuses, stating that he's only there to talk to Alma. At this, Zorop becomes furious, insisting that no one approaches Alma without his permission, claiming she belongs to him, as does the entire city. He threatens Boyka, saying that if he tries to speak to Alma again, he'll kill him. However, Boyka isn't intimidated and, the following morning, returns to try again. A security guard tries to stop him from entering the community center, but Boyka knocks him out with a single punch. Inside, Alma is reading a book to some children, and when she sees Boyka, she approaches him to find out what he wants. Finally, Boyka has the chance to speak with Alma. He tells her that he knew her husband and that he is very sorry for her loss. Alma thanks him, and Boyka asks if Zorop is bothering her. Alma explains that her husband took out a loan to open the community center, and after his death, she started working for Zorop to pay off the debt. She then asks Boyka how he knew Victor, and Boyka reveals that he was responsible for Victor's death, even though it was an accident. Feeling guilty, Boyka offers to give Alma the fight money, but she refuses, claiming that she doesn't want the bloodstained money and asks him to leave. Determined to help Alma, Boyka goes to Zorop's club and offers to fight in the ring in exchange for her freedom. Zorop agrees, but under one condition: Boyka must defeat his champion, Koshmar, in a series of 3 fights. Boyka accepts the deal and asks where he can train. Zorop directs him to a gym 5 blocks away, warning him not to forget that in his arena, he makes the rules. Boyka arrives at the gym and begins training, but soon a troublemaker confronts him. Boyka, provoked, kicks the man in the face, knocking him out cold. That night, Boyka prepares for his first fight against Boris Tarsov. Though Boris is quick and agile, Boyka's skill and experience give him the upper hand, and he easily wins the fight. Zorop is impressed, as he had never seen Boyka fight live, despite knowing his reputation. After the fight, Alma brings Boyka a glass of water, and he asks if she knows of any other place where he can train, as the gym at the end of the street is full of rats. Alma offers to let him train at the community center the following day. The next morning, Boyka trains at the community center, where Alma lets him use the gym that her husband once trained in. 2 nights later, Boyka prepares for his second match, which involves facing two opponents at once, the Ozerov brothers. The two brothers attack him together, but Boyka uses his impeccable technique to defeat them, one by one. Afterward, Alma helps him tend to his injuries, preparing an herbal paste for his back. As she does so, she tells him that he doesn't have to keep fighting for her and could leave the city whenever he chooses. Boyka asks her why she hasn't left, and Alma explains that the community center was her and her husband's dream. Frustrated, Alma leaves, and Boyka returns to his room to rest, fearful of what's to come. Zorab, concerned that Boyka may win the third fight, bribes police officer Koichev to release Koshmar from prison and bring him to fight in the tournament. Boyka is unaware of the deal and focuses on his training. The morning of the final fight, Boyka receives a call from Carol, informing him that the arena is packed with fans, and his name is plastered across newspapers and billboards. In the final match, Boyka faces Koshmar, a towering figure who is twice Boyka's size. Despite the massive size difference, Boyka uses his agility and strength to land some solid hits, but Koshmar remains standing. After several brutal blows to the head, Boyka briefly loses consciousness but refuses to give up. After a series of precise punches and kicks, Boyka knocks Koshmar down. Zorab doesn't honor the agreement and orders his guards to attack Boyka. Alma is taken hostage as Zorab prepares to escape. Boyka fights through Zorab's guards, knocking them out one by one. When Zorab takes Alma hostage, Boyka pursues him and, in a tense standoff, points a gun at the gangster. Zorab orders Boyka to drop his weapon, threatening Alma's life. Boyka drops the gun, and in that moment, Alma bites Zorab's hand, giving Boyka the chance to attack. Despite being shot in the abdomen, Boyka punches Zorab multiple times and chokes him to death. With Zorab dead, Boyka collapses, and Alma insists on taking him to the hospital. Boyka, however, tells her he needs to ask her something. He recalls the day they met, when Alma asked what he wanted from her, and he didn't have an answer. Now, he knows what he needed, forgiveness for what he had done to her husband. Just then, the police arrive, and Boyka is arrested. 6 months later, Boyka receives an unexpected visitor in prison, Alma. Alma tells Boyka that she forgives him and thanks him for giving her freedom back.